Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Orphanlast, aka Skylar Madison, and today we're going to be talking about a new, stable version of Opentoonz. And this is actually going to be the version of Opentoonz that I'm going to be using for quite some time. So if you're interested, the link to the download for this version is in the video description section of this video. Basically, I saw how well people responded to my testing out OTX video and how all went down with that video. I got some really good views and minutes watched from that, but basically I figured that you guys would like to see this video as well, but I also didn't want to sideswipe you guys with this new version and with you guys not even having heard about it and everything. Here I am using this brand new version of Opentoonz, and I didn't even bother to tell you guys about it, so I'm telling you guys right now. You guys know this is the version that I'm going to be using from here on out for a while. This new version is called the Morevna Edition, and these guys are separate from the Github guys, and basically all that means is this. While the Github guys are really focused on things like bug fixes, it's actually the Morevna guys who are interested in giving us new features, which is great. We already have this free program that competes with commercial software called Opentoonz. Awesome. And here now we have these Morevna guys, and they're making it even better. But with them being separate from the Github guys, it somehow allows them to take advantage of crowdfunding differently, and this allows them to actually get paid for their work. This also means that while the Github guys are releasing experimental nightly builds on a fairly regular basis, but only releasing one stable version every 6 months or so, we have the Morevna guys working on a different release schedule and popping out stable versions of Opentoonz as well. Now, you don't need to worry about there being some sort of schism in the Opentoonz development community. When the Github guys release a new version of Opentoonz, it'll have all the new additions that the Morevna guys have put into the program so far, and the same goes vice versa. The Morevna guys get what the Github guys have been putting in. So the first thing that you'll notice when you open up the Opentoonz Morevna Edition is that the Opentoonz logo will be purple instead of green, and it'll say Morevna Edition. But more than that, recently Noble Frugal Studio just popped out a video where he expressed his excitement about OTX and having access to the horizontal timeline, which is great, you know, everyone should be excited about that. But for me, it's impractical for me to use OTX because it's exclusively designed to work with high-definition monitors, and I just don't have one. So every time I'd pull out my brush tool, I wouldn't be able to take advantage of most of its features. But this Morevna Edition has a horizontal timeline as well, so that is one big plus for this version. Okay, of course, you know, they don't have the autosave thing here that we saw in OTX. But here, we can see the horizontal timeline right here. But sometimes you do still want to have the X sheet. Like, for example, right here on my animation tab, I have every desire to have the X sheet. If I try to turn this into the timeline, this space from here to here, maybe it's 2 inches. I'm just going to approximate and say that's about 2 inches of screen space. For me, that's pretty big for me to deal with. And so, like, I'd much rather have this versus the alternative at this point in time. So on the animation tab, I'll continue using the X sheet. In the basics tab, I'll continue using the timeline. I really like that. That's really nice. One thing that you should note is that a lot of times newbies will accidentally unsnap something, and then they'll put it here, and then they'll struggle. They'll be like, oh crud, I didn't mean to do that, I really didn't mean to do that, oh. And so they have to unsnap things and try to work things out to fit into the environment, and this can slow down your workflow if you're doing this on a consistent basis, trying to snap and unsnap windows on a regular basis. And it's very frustrating. So what you can do is you can go into Windows and lock panes. Okay, now this is in the current 1.1.3 official GitHub release of Opentoonz as well. So this way you can't unsnap any windows. So that's going to be invaluable to you to have at your disposal, to be able to lock your windows. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at what else these guys have. Okay, and I don't know how many, like, this isn't really like what I would expect to see on this page. It's not what I'd expect to see from release notes. So if they had release notes, I'd try my best to go through each and every single one of them, or as many as I could actually understand and showcase all of the changes. But I can't do that because it doesn't really have a full-on set of release notes. But one of the things that got me so eager to jump on this is, if you look here on this picture, the My Paintbrushes have been added into Opentoonz. So in order to do that, in order to access that, what we can do is we can just create a style, or basically I'm just going to draw something, and here we have our styles. Double click that. Now we have our style editor. Okay, and you can see My Paintbrushes right here, and for some reason it's really glitchy at the moment. Okay, so it's all there. Okay, so right now I can't snap anything, so I need to go Windows, lock rooms, so that it gets unlocked, and this way I can just place this right here, and this will allow me to be able to draw things with the My Paintbrushes. Now, right now I have a vector layer, basically a vector level going on here. So if I were to say select the, let me press this arrow until I can find the My Paintbrushes. If I were to select one of these and try to draw, it's not going to really let me because it's vector. These will only work on rasters. Okay, so I'm gonna undo all that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just showcase this. Okay, so the Toonz raster level. Okay, if we select this and just whatever, I don't really care what these are called. I'm just gonna throw all this stuff away anyways, because I'm just showcasing this for you. If I go into the My Paintbrushes and select a brush, we kind of pretty much run into the same issue. It just creates a dot. I can try to draw something, but it won't let me. So the vector levels and the Toonz raster levels will not work with the My Paintbrushes. Okay, so what will work? Well, the new raster level. Okay, just a raster level in general. We press OK. We go ahead and find the My Paint on the list here, and we can actually see this. Okay, and I've already actually kind of tinkered with this, and I can just see and feel that this is a much more better drawing experience. I can just quickly like get out a really nice looking image within a short period of time, and the quality of these brushes is pretty smooth as well. So I have to hand it to the Morevna guys. Like they've done a good job. I don't know how much of the Github guys have been involved in this, but it's really nice to finally get my hands on the My Paintbrushes, because like if you guys recall, I made a video about basically promoting this particular project to get the My Paintbrushes into Opentoonz. One thing that I noticed is this. Okay, I found the video that's want more brushes for Opentoonz. Okay, so if I click on this and then go into the comments section, I've donated and will continue donating some amounts monthly. We'll get this bounty filled eventually, and that's a comment from one of my subscribers, I believe, Highfire X. So I don't know how much this person donated, Highfire X, but that is really cool that this person said that. And so Highfire X, there is a stable version of Opentoonz out that that has the My Paintbrushes. So what you've donated has now kind of come into fruition now, and you can actually see what you helped pay for. And thank you very much for those donations, and thank you everybody who donated, just simply because, you know, this is something that everyone's been looking forward to. And so, you know, one of the cool things about these brushes is that if you want to create like a motion blur or something like that, you totally can, and you don't necessarily have to go into say the animation tab and mess with the function editor and the effects schematic. The issue that I have with the effects schematic is the entire time that I was making my punching man animation, the effects schematic had to process and render each and every single frame, and it took forever. And autosaves would make it so that it'd have to start all the way over with the basically it'd have to re-render every single frame all over again. And so it was a very frustrating process, and so I'm less inclined to work with the effects schematic if I really just don't have to. Just simply because render times, it's so much, it just takes up so much of my time. And so, like, if you want to create like these magical effects and such like that, you totally can. Let me go ahead and extend this, but like I can kind of make these little sparkly things, and you know, we can actually make this into a mesh, and we can kind of move it around to kind of make it look like dust particles moving through the air, animate it and everything. That would be cool. You can pull out a knife tool, oops, and you can kind of start blending things together, I guess. So like this right here, this blending tool that I'm using right now, this would be perfect for blending effects, as an example, or not blending effects, blur effects, yeah. And there's all sorts of different things that you can use. Like there's one specific one that I used that was just phenomenal. Right, so I found it, but here, let me show you something really quick here. There's this one specific one, ink blot. Let's say you want to have this magical thing kind of animated, and let me turn on my onion skin, and just kind of like have this little fluttery thing kind of moving around your scene and everything. You can totally do that, and it looks kind of amazing. So like if I scrub through the animation, and you know, let me turn off the onion skin. Of course it's kind of dim, but like if you were to just mess with it a little bit more, it could look like this magical little fluttery thing kind of moving through the air. It just, the ideas are kind of endless as to what you can do with it. But this charcoal brush near the top here underneath the blur, this is amazing. Like, I've never felt like I was there's never any point where I felt like I was using a pencil more on a digital, you know, tablet than when I've been messing around with this thing. You'll have to try it out. This charcoal brush is amazing. Like it feels really spot on, and you don't necessarily have to even rely on this eraser. This eraser will work if I can actually keep control of everything. That eraser will work, but there's a number of different types of erasers through here. Okay, that's an autosave, and I'm not actually going to save this scene, so it doesn't matter. Like such as this eraser, or this eraser, or this one. Like, I don't know really what the difference between all of them are, but it is phenomenal. And like, you have the ability to brush and kind of blend things like you would with your finger. There's a number of, like, I've seen like a lot of different types of blending tools. They try to really mimic how it reacts with various different tools. I don't know how well this is really necessarily blending, but here I'm basically using the equivalent of a ballpoint pen. And let me see if I can kind of smudge that a little bit. Yeah, that looks good as a little blending effect. You know, they have airbrush tools. That's freaking cool. But yeah, there's this, let's see, blending knife, like this right here, you know, that's kind of awesome. Alright, let's scroll on through here, see what we got. Okay, what is that? Oh, little particle. Like, you can make little particles. So, like, yeah, pretty fancy. Fancy. Now, they have, like, light brushes that are kind of cool. Let me change the color of this style real quick. Let's move it to red. Maybe I just need to, I don't know, like, localize it in a tiny spot. But yeah, see that? It kind of looks like I'm creating a light source to some extent, which is, it gets me thinking, what sort of cool things can I create with this? Yeah. Let's move on. Clouds, something that might be able to help you out in making clouds, I guess. I don't know. Can it? And yeah, let's go ahead and change the style to something that's more white. Yeah, I can see this helping out with clouds. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, let's move the color over to blue so that things don't get too cluttered with nonsense. Grain. What type of... what in the world? Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Okay. Wow. That looks kind of cool. Like a whole bunch of bugs fluttering around. Like, it had this been a blue light, like, it almost looks like a bunch of bugs conglomerating upon a kind of a bug zapper. But yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. So, like, I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but that, to my knowledge, is a lot of what's inside of the Morevna edition. But there is one thing that I'd like to show to you guys real quick here, if I can find it. Okay, it says, I would like to mention that this specific developer at Agni have a lot of more plans for further development of the horizontal timeline. The perspective is the ability to make point-based shape morphing animation the same way as it's done in After Effects, Synfig, Moho, or Moho. There is already some more work being done on that. If I click on this video, I'm not going to show you too much of the video, just simply because, you know, I might run into like something stupid like a copyright infringement. So if I stay below 30 seconds, there shouldn't be an issue, and for some reason it's just stuck on loading. Let's open it in a new tab. Alright, so what we can see is inside of this video, what he's doing is he has the control point editor, and I don't know how he's doing this. Maybe if there was some release notes, I might be able to decode and figure it out. But what he's doing is he's using the control point editor, and you see that? You see that? He animated with that just by moving something with the control point editor. So I have no idea how he did that, or if it's even in the Morevna project right now. And so if you're looking for new additional features, Turtletooth, he does it sometimes. Don't go making too many requests out of him because he gets tired of it. But like the Morevna guys specifically, the Morevna guys, they are the guys that are coming out with the most new features and a lot of really stable, interesting ideas. Anyways, that pretty much concludes it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys didn't like it, please like, share, and subscribe anyways.